Okay, let's start. Samanta cakkavalesu atra gaccantu devatan Sandhammang munirajassa sunantu sagga mokkadang Dhamma savana kalo ayan badanta Dhamma savana kalo ayan badanta Dhamma savana kalo ayan badanta Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Sile patentaya naro sapanyo Cittang panyanca bhavayam Atapi nipako bhikku So imang vijataye jatanti. Okay. All of you are warmly welcome. Today I am going to explain a very special discourse in Buddhism. It says, you can get both of them. You can get Sinhala and English both one. One also you can taste. Okay, this is the very special discourse, Jata. You can get both one by one. Jata means tangle. Jata Sutta. Jata means tangle. You know the tangle? Yeah. Yeah. When we consider Buddha's message, all teachings focus on mindfulness and wisdom. That is the nature of Buddhism. All Buddha's teachings focus on mindfulness and wisdom. Both of them are very important in Buddhism. Mindfulness and wisdom. How much you have developed your mindfulness and wisdom, that is the success of your life, according to Buddhism. This is the GPA or IQ in Buddhism. This is the real IQ. At sometimes someone can even write something. But if a person is qualified about mindfulness and wisdom, that person can get rid of suffering in this life itself, not only hereafter. All Buddha's teachings focus to get rid of suffering and live in peace. Especially here, the discourse Jata Sutta, the discourse of tangle, here a god, deity, came to visit Buddha and asked some questions from the Buddha. I think it is better to understand the concept of God in Buddhism. That is very important. Some people think that Buddhism doesn't believe the God. Actually, first of all, I think we should know what is the opinion about God in Buddhism. Buddhism believes God, not only one God. There are hundreds of gods in the world. The difference, the concept of God in Buddhism is that Buddhism doesn't believe the God who created the world. That is the difference. Buddhism doesn't believe that the creation, the world by the God. But Buddhism believes God. And a lot of gods came to visit Buddha, came to ask some questions from Buddha, and Buddha also met some gods in his period. And as Buddhists, we respect God. We respect God. And we have some sort of communication with the God. But special thing is, if we can develop, if we can cultivate our mind, especially our mindfulness and wisdom, we can overcome God too, deities too. That is the very, very important thing. If we are rich in merit, if we are rich in mindfulness and wisdom, we are respected even by the gods. That's the difference. Here, a god or deity came to visit Buddha and asked him, Reverend Sir, there is some sort of verses here. You can understand, you can read it. A tangle inside, a tangle outside. And this generation is entangled in a tangle. It says that the people have some problems in their mind. People suffer, people are worried because of their some sort of problems. And he asked that, I asked you this, so Gautama. Gautama means Buddha's name. Buddha's real name is Gautama. Sakyamuni Gautama or Gautama, who can entangle this tangle. He asked Buddha, who can overcome this problem? Who can get rid of these problems? How do you say to get rid of suffering? What is the way for the purification, for the getting rid of suffering? He asked. And at that moment, Buddha said to him, the way how to get rid of suffering. He says, first of all, to get rid of suffering, you should have good discipline, morality or virtue. That is the foundation of Buddhism in the path of purification. Actually, before virtue or morality, first of all, we should have good knowledge. We should have clear knowledge what we practice, where we are going to. And after we understand the path that Buddha says to purify our mind, after that, as soon as we understand his message, we try to develop our discipline. It is not such a rule or regulation. But if we have real understanding, we try to develop our discipline. It is very useful for our day-to-day life. It is beneficial for our success in day-to-day life. That is why we develop our discipline in speech and behavior. If we have good discipline, in speech and behavior, it is very easy to live in the society without problems. Then I think, Mr. Eric, you have experience because your parents advise you in your childhood. I think it is in your young age you might not angry with your parents, but later when you consider your parents, you are so grateful for your parents because of their advice. You could develop your discipline. That is very important. If we have good discipline, actually it is so beneficial for our life. We have no mistake. Nobody can blame us. Nobody can criticize us. If we have good discipline, we can go forward in the society without any criticism. That is a good benefit in our life. And if we have good discipline, we can overcome more than 20% problems in our day-to-day life. Mostly we are blamed because of our bad speech. If we can control our speech and behavior, we are not blamed in the society by the people. That is a good benefit for our life. And also not only good discipline, but also we have to develop another two kind of qualities in our life in the name of getting rid of suffering or happiness. And the Buddha says again, as a wise person, while you are developing your virtue or morality, you have to cultivate your mind according to wholesome attitude. And that is why it is said tranquility or concentration. That is the second level. The first level is discipline, virtue or morality. Second level is focus in our mind particular object, particular thought, which is wholesome. We practice our mind again and again, then we develop our concentration or tranquility in the name of happiness. If we can concentrate our mind suddenly, whether the society is very complicated, we can live without suffering. As the result of practicing mind, as the result of practicing tranquility. That is very important. If we can keep our mind for a long time in a particular object, particular thought, such as loving kind meditation, breathing meditation, those are the techniques that we develop our concentration or meditation. Buddhist meditation is divided into two. I think you have already listening to it. Meditation is divided into two according to Buddhism. Have you listened it before?
Yes.
Yeah, what they are?
Concentration, meditation.
Yeah.
And insight.
Yeah, first one is concentration meditation or tranquility meditation. This is the first one. The second one is the insight meditation. Mostly we can see in the world, there are many people in the world who practice tranquility meditation or concentration meditation. There are many people. Before the Lord Buddha appeared in the world, there were many persons who practiced tranquility meditation and also who got the results practicing tranquility meditation in Buddha's period and also before Buddha's period, and also in this society too. Whether a person listening to Buddha's message or not, there are many people who practice tranquility meditation. They focus their mind, particular object, particular thought, There are some people who practice some mantras too. Again and again, they practice some word or some sentence. Again and again, practicing those words, they focus their mind, particular idea or attitude. And with the concentrated mind, if we are going to reflect on impermanence or unsatisfactoriness or egolessness, it is said as insight meditation. Have you any question? What is the purpose of developing concentration meditation? What is the goal of developing concentration meditation? We are able to focus our mind particular object, such as loving kind meditation, breathing. Using some sort of technique, we can keep our mind same thought for a long time without any disturbance. That is the nature of tranquility meditation. If we can practice this meditation, actually we can overcome a lot of problems in our daily life. Our success, our happiness depends on what we think, not what we have. Ms. Thero, our happiness or success depends on what we think, what is our attitude, not what we have, not what we gain in physically or materially. Mostly, our happiness depends on what we think, what is our attitude, how we think about the world. That is why always Buddhism advises us to reflect on the correct way, in the correct way about the world. If we can change our attitude in the correct way, we can overcome suffering, whether we change or not the physical or material things outside. Here, Buddha says in this discourse, the discourse of Jata, the discourse of anger, Buddha says, if a person would like to get rid of suffering, first of all, that person should be wise. If we are not wise, all things are useless. And at the very beginning, we should be intelligent. And also, we should have mindfulness. We should have good attention. What he says. Then when we listen to something, we should have good attention. That is very important. With attention, we should have mindfulness. If we have no mindfulness, we can't understand whether his message is true, even his message is true. That is why the attention and mindfulness is very useful from beginning to end. Not only end, from beginning to end, we should develop these two things, especially mindfulness and wisdom. Here, Buddha says, in the second step, when we reflect on impermanence, here we get experience about the world through our senses, such as our eyes, nose, ears, tongue, body. Those are the senses that we get experience about the world. Through these senses, we get the experience about the world. What is the nature of getting this experience? What is the nature of this experience? Awareness that we should practice. But I ask you that what is the nature of our experience when we listen to something, when we hear something, when we taste something? What is the nature of this experience? Impermanence or uncertain, and it arises with the conditions. When our eye is here, if we have our attention, our mind, light, form, when all of them are together, we have some sort of experience.
The dependent origin.
Through our senses we get experience. That experience is impermanent. Impermanent means not only changing. Mostly we can see the people when they explain impermanence, they say that changing. But changing and impermanence are different according to Buddhism. When we understand the understanding of changing is easier than understanding of impermanence. A lot of scientists have discovered the changing, but they don't discover the impermanence according to Buddhism. According to Buddhism, that is very important. According to Buddhism, impermanence means when there are conditions, we have experience arises together at the moment, then conditions are finished, then our experience also finished. Little by little we can focus this reality. It causes to overcome greedy. Mostly we have attachment, we have big attachment because of ignorance about impermanence. If we have real understanding about impermanence, automatically our desire, our greed ceases, overcomes. That is the very, very important thing. It doesn't mean that we run away from the society. We live in the society. We fulfill our responsibilities in our parents, in our children, in the name of our children, in the name of our husband or wife. We fulfill. We do our responsibilities and duties very well than before we did. After you get this experience, this understanding. And especially we know if we have big attachment or greed about the world, it means when those things are separated, we will worry. There are 4 things in the world that we can control. What they are?
Thought.
Thought?
The thought. Your mind.
We can control our mind. We can control our mind. All Buddhist teachings focus on controlling mind.
So your question was what is not or what is
cannot control.
What cannot be controlled?
What cannot be controlled?
Oh, okay. Weather,
nature. No, especially according to Buddhism, there are 4 things that we can control. We can control. The first thing is old age. Old age.
Death.
And sickness. And death and separation. Those 4 things that we have as challenges in our life, we definitely have to face these problems. Buddhism doesn't say that overcome these problems. Buddhism advises us to overcome the suffering of these things. When we become the old age, if we can live without suffering, that is, for that Buddhism guides us to overcome suffering. When we separate our close relatives and our things, and when our physical, our good appearance change. If we can face this situation without suffering, that is the thing Buddhism says us. That is the thing Buddhism teaches us. How we overcome the suffering of illness. How we get rid of suffering of death. How we overcome the suffering of separation. Then people in the society, mostly they trust in their physical body and their close relatives. When they are changed, they suffer, they worry because of their ignorance. They think that they don't change. They think that all things are certain ever. They think when these things are changing, they suffer because of their misunderstanding. Buddhism advises us to develop our mind how we focus these challenges in our life. Here, we trust in not only our physical body or material things, we trust in our mind. We can control our mind. It is able to control our mind, but we can't control our body. How much you respect, you help your physical body, the nature of physical body is going to old age, going to sickness, going to death. And finally you have to give up this body too. And don't worry, if you have practiced your mind, you will have better body. That is a good benefit for you. If you are on the way of purification in your mind, then while you are living, you are trust in your mind concentration than your physical body. Every day you live with happiness, then you spend your life happily, and also when you give up your these material things, you will have the better life. But especially Buddhism advises us for the success not only hereafter, but also the success of this moment. That is very important. Some people who are in the society, they don't believe hereafter. They don't believe next life. It doesn't matter. But every person who is intelligent in the society, they wish to live happily when they live in the society. Buddhism always advises us to how to live with happiness. If we can understand this impermanence, practicing insight meditation, we can reflect on the impermanence, and also if we have good understanding about the impermanence, we don't worry when the material things change because of our understanding. Then, yes? Yeah, okay.
You mentioned that not everyone believes in the next life or reincarnation, if you will. So if there are people who do not believe in that, will they indeed be reincarnated, or they won't be?
Yeah, please say again.
Okay, so there's people who believe in the next life, and there's people who do not. So for those who do not believe in the next life, will they actually have a next life?
Yeah, whether they believe or not. Actually, this is not the Buddha's message.
Okay.
Yeah, actually this is very important thing. We say that Buddhism or Buddha's message, whether Buddha appeared or not in the world, this is the world reality.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the world reality. But Buddhism doesn't force to the people to believe this thing. But Buddhism always tries to explain this world reality. Because Buddha explained this message, we say that's Buddha's message or Buddhism. But this message doesn't belong to Buddha's too. Yeah. Because of his discovery, we respect him. We say it as Buddhism. And also, even the Lord Buddha was not a Buddhist. Yeah. Even the Arahants were also not Buddhist. They understood this world reality, whether Buddha appeared or not in the world, this reality is ever. Whether a person believes or not, it is the nature. But Buddhism doesn't force to believe. You should believe this one.
If I may add, I was listening to NPR and there was a conference, I believe it either happened a couple of weeks ago at UC Riverside, where a lot of people got together and they got to discuss life after death. So I think there were so many religious people got together in this conference, and it would be interesting to find out what they decided. But they had people who came to speak about their experiences and a lot of philosophers. So it's something they're thinking about. I know I don't really believe in it, but I was curious because I'm going to actually look up to see and if I find it, I'll share it with you.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
What's that? Possible. It was at UC Riverside. It was one weekend. There was a conference, and that was about afterlife. And
this is a very special
I don't know why it's in you, but you can Google it.
There are several levels about the rebirth in Buddhism. There are several levels. The first level, some people believe that there are no rebirth or no previous life. That is the first level. That is the first level. Buddhism says that it is a very big mistake. Some people think that nothing. Next birth or previous birth. There are some persons who says that there is a next birth, there is a previous birth too. This is the second level. According to Buddha's message, there are both truths. According to conventional truth, you should understand this very carefully. That is very important. According to conventional truth, there is a previous birth and hereafter or next birth. But Buddhism doesn't stop in this level. There are many religions, many people who doesn't believe this message, Buddha's message, are in this level. They think that there is a very special certain thing inside as mind or soul that is certain, that goes from this birth to next birth. That is their experience. We are also in this situation still.
Yeah, it's Buddhism is the religion of experience. So you can still be a Buddhist even if you don't believe in before or after life, because it's, as you said, it's conventional truth.
Yeah, whether Buddhist or not, it can be understood. This conventional truth. There are some people, when their close relatives die, if they have some sort of experience, they believe the next birth. Before the Lord Buddha appeared in the world, there were many people who believed previous birth and next birth. But they believe that there is a very certain special thing there inside as mind or soul. It cannot be destroyed. It is certain. It goes continuously. That is the soul. There are many people who are in this level, they believe this certain soul. But even among the Buddhists, there are many people in this level. It is truth. It is true, but only in conventional truth. We should not stop here. If we stop in this level, we can have a good next life, but we have never freedom or liberation or enlightenment. For the enlightenment, we have to reach next level. What is the next level according to ultimate truth? According to ultimate truth, there is another concept. What is that? This is the very, very important thing, but I think at sometimes you are not already ready to understand this one because it is so complicated. One day there was a monk who is Reverend Sati, his name. Reverend Sati said that there is a certain mind, certain soul which goes from birth to birth. The Lord Buddha called that monk and he blamed a lot that monk. I never told that there is a special certain thing which goes from birth to birth. Not even hereafter, but while you are living in this same birth, in this life, I have never said that this permanent mind, permanent soul goes from second to second, from moment to moment. If I have never said that there is a permanent thing that goes from moment to moment, how I say that it is going to hereafter? Then this is the very, very important thing. Every moment, mind arises in this moment with the conditions, and next moment it arises as a new one.
So, dependent origination, that cannot be true.
Yeah. If we say that there is a permanent thing that goes hereafter, then it is a big challenge in the teachings of Buddhism, especially for the impermanent. It is a big challenge. That is why Buddhism doesn't say that the same person goes to next birth. It doesn't mean that another person goes to. Both of them are on. If you say that another person goes to next birth, it is also wrong. If you say that the same person is going to next birth, it is also wrong. But according to your activities, according to your mental conditions, according to your activities that you collected, you accumulated in this life, you will have a next birth. But it is a completely new one, and also not only hereafter, but when you live from moment to moment, you are a very fresh new person. All things arises at the moment. That is the nature of the impermanence. Yeah.
I mean, you can argue on the dependent
Here,
origination.
when the people, according to Buddhism, intelligence or wisdom is divided into two. Intelligence or wisdom is divided into two. Can you remember this form?
I'm sorry, I was writing. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Intelligence, wisdom, or right understanding is divided into two. According to Buddhism, what they are.
Forgive me, I cannot.
Okay. The first one is the belief or confidence of karmic law.
Okay.
Karmic law. That is the first level of intelligence. Mr. Ma, can you understand? And Mr. Eric, can you understand? I'm sorry. Yeah. The first level of intelligence or wisdom that Buddhism says is the confidence of karmic law. When you do something with wicked mind, because of your polluted mind, you will have the bad result. Because of polluted mind. If you do something with pure mind, because of purity of your mind, you will have the good result. If a person has some sort of confidence about this karmic law, we say that that person has the first level of wisdom or intelligence. There are many people in the society who believe this level, not only among the Buddhists. Then this is the first level. But when you, actually many people who are in this conventional truth, they believe the karmic law. When you go to this level, you further believe karmic law. You never forget the karmic law. But living in the situation of karmic law, you are going to next level with the higher experience, with the higher knowledge, higher understanding. It is the very, very important thing. In this moment, you believe the impermanence which arises every moment and which ceases every moment.
That's ultimate truth.
Sorry?
Ultimate truth.
Second level. Yeah, second level of wisdom. Yeah. Sorry? Yeah, I'll write it. Intelligence, or wisdom, and divided into two. First one is the confidence. The confidence of karmic law. The second one is understanding of impermanence. Understanding of impermanence. It depends on dependent origination. This is the identity of the Buddhism. This is not the identity, because there are many religions, there are many philosophers, there are many people who believe this situation. But when they believe karmic law, karmic force, they believe that there is a permanent certain soul or mind which goes from birth to birth. But Buddhism, the difference of Buddhism is that Buddhism believes that karmic law without believing in permanent soul or mind. That is the big difference in Buddhism. Even among Buddhists, many people who believe karmic law, and also they believe that the certain mind, certain soul that goes from birth to birth. Actually, until you understand this real impermanence, you are not a real follower of a Buddha. until you believe, until you understand this real impermanence, you are not a disciple, you are not a real disciple of a Buddha. You are a listener. You are a listener. You may be a listener, but you are not a disciple of a Buddha, of the Buddha.
With the dependent origination, it is, you don't have an identity to yourself or to your thoughts or the person you are. The one that goes, you're conscious from one level to another depending on the dependent origination. There's no identity to you.
There is identity.
Where
surely.
is identity?
For example, we have got the same example. When you light same candles, when you light hundreds of candles in the same place, first you have one candle, it is lighting. Then you light this candle. Then this candle light this one. Again and again, the light goes there.
You know it's originated from one, but it all depends on the conditions. So...
Yeah, I am going to please wait a minute. And then when you see those old candles, you can see some sort of identity. You can see some sort of all candles are same with light. But nothing goes there from here. When you keep near this candle, when the conditions are ready, the light starts. But nothing goes from here to there. But there is some identity. When you keep some rock or something to the water, then there are some waves. You can see some waves. When you keep some rock or something to the water, then you can see some waves. There are some identity in the water, but nothing goes from here to there.
So you're saying like a transfer of energy, as you say, the transfer of energy, but there's no real identity to say this is related to this, or...
according to conventional truth, we can say some sort of identity. For example, when you are hypnotized, there are some researchers who, the philosophers do, some psychologists do that, some sort of hypnotism. Then when you are hypnotized, then it can be discovered that when they consider your previous life, you may have the same children, same husband or something, not same. But because of you have offered something to others, because of you have prepared something for in the name of health of others, you have the good appearance. You have good health in this life because of your previous activities. There is some sort of identity. But this is completely different. This is completely new one. But there is some sort of identity. But Buddhism doesn't say that something comes here from there. That is the difference. If Buddhism says that something comes here from there, it is a big challenge that Buddhism says the impermanent. That is why Buddhism doesn't say that the same person is here. But the Lord Buddha has explained his previous life. You know, 550 Jataka, what? 550 stories about his previous lives. Not only 500, but also billions of lives he has explained to the world. But he explained this reality with the impermanence level, in the ultimate truth. But when the Lord Buddha explained about his previous life, we mentioned that the same person come here from there. We mentioned. But Buddha knows very well their situation ceases there, and because of that activities here, it was born another new one.
So Is that parallel to, and forgive me, I can't remember if you said it or Dr. Jata said when a child is born, that child comes, let's see, through me, but not of me. Is that kind of the same thing?
Yeah, we can say it. We can say it. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, we can say it. Yeah, all of them actually, when we consider our material things, our physical body, we have some sort of combination with each other. But this person is completely different. And also every moment it changes. His physical body and mind, all things are changing every moment. Yeah, for example, when I keep here this one, again I do the same sound.
But not the same.
Yeah, but previous sound is there itself and next sound start here, but both sounds are same. But we don't say that both of them are same. Because of the conditions are same, the sound also same. But again and again I can create the same sound.
But if I pull the table away, you
because of conditions are same, the sound is same, but not the same sound. When I keep here, another sound, because of conditions are different. Like this, when conditions are same, we can see some sort of similarities, but not completely same.
So how did Buddha explain his previous births as ritual for the people? Like we believe in that he also saw in his wisdom, that all this is past years. He was explaining in different times to people, right?
Yeah.
How did he how did he explain that?
Yeah, because of his previous activities, he could develop his mind in the maximum level. This Buddha is not an effort of this life.
Yeah.
This is the result of effort of with billions of previous life. Buddha explained this reality because sitting on this level. That is the important thing. If we said that the same person came here from there,
It's not true.
yeah, it is truth and according to conventional truth.
Yeah.
Last day we got an example. We got an example in our Friday Dhamma class. We got an example. Example that there is a vehicle. There is a vehicle that a person. There are two persons. One person is owner of the vehicle, car or van or something. There is another person who is mechanic. That person, as soon as mechanic sees that vehicle, he knows very well, although it is one thing, there are a number of parts of vehicle. Wheels, doors, seats, many things are here. As soon as mechanic sees that van or car, he knows very well the all parts. And if there are some mistake or some repair there, he knows where it is. There is another person who is the owner, but he has no idea about the situation, about the making of that vehicle. That both of them can go in that vehicle, no problem. They can get the result, they can get the facilities of that vehicle, whether they know or not about the vehicle situation. But the difference thing is that mechanic can go by that vehicle with these facilities, but he knows very well, although this is one thing, there is not this one thing, this is the result of the many parts. He has more knowledge. But another person who is the owner, he has get the result, he has get the facilities. He can get the facilities. But he doesn't have the real knowledge. But I got this example. Buddha also like the mechanic. Buddha also get the result using his physical body. And he got the result from his previous life. And he knows very well the impermanence of parts of his life. But other people who understood the previous life and next birth, they are like the owner of the vehicle. They can get the result by using that vehicle, but they don't have the real understanding. They think that this is the only thing which cannot be divided, which cannot be destroyed, which is certain, which is the special thing. That I got this example, Buddha also like that. Buddha knows very well there is some person here, and also because of her or his previous activities, now he or she has these facilities. But always it comes here changing with the situation of impermanence. That is why Buddha always encourage us to do good deeds, because of we have next birth. According to conventional truth, we have next birth. We will have suffering or happiness. If we don't do the good activities, we will not have the good results next birth. That is why Buddha always encourage us to do good deeds. With the pure mind, you develop, you practice generosity, morality and meditation again and again. He encouraged people develop these good activities in his life. But
at the same tone, if you do that, regardless of the next life, you benefit in this life too.
Yeah. If you don't good deeds in this life, you will have good results next life.
This life too.
This life too. Yeah. Especially when we are going to next level, we don't worry about next birth. We try to succeed this moment. If we are not succeed this moment, we don't have the successful next life. That is why the first thing is we have to get rid of suffering and we have to succeed this moment, keeping our mind pure and calm. Always try to develop your mindfulness and wisdom, then you can decrease your anger, greed and delusion. Yes?
So when people, when they see it's human nature, when they see another person, to kind of judge a person, say, oh, I don't like what he's wearing, or he acts this way, or he's bad, or just making assumptions that somebody's bad, is that anger or like, what is that, hate?
Anger is the first level. Then we are going to deeply say that hatred.
Yeah, so that's hatred.
Yeah. Actually the main reason of hatred or desire, because of ignorance. If you have real knowledge about the karmic law, actually we don't like suffering. We try to decrease our anger, hatred and delusion. And if we have more delusion, more hatred, more desire, it means we are more suffering. That is why always Buddhism focus to decrease anger, desire and delusion. Among these three things, the worst one is, what is? Delusion or ignorance. Yeah. If you can completely decrease delusion, you have nothing about anger or desire.
Right understanding.
Yeah, right understanding. How much you have right understanding for wisdom, you can decrease anger and desire. As much as you have wisdom or intelligence, you try to reduce desire or big attachment. You know very well, if you have big attachment, when they change, when you can control them, you suffer. And also, when you can control them, you may be angry. For example, when your child are very well and he or she has good discipline, you are happy. But when they have bad behavior, you worry, you hate, you are angry because of big attachment, desire. If any other student or any other child has misbehavior, you are not worried. You are not angry. But your only son or daughter has misbehavior, you worry, you are angry. What is the reason? Attachment, big attachment. You may think that this should be happened as my opinion. This should be controlled by me. This should happen according to my idea. That is that if we can understand this situation, we help them. We fulfill our responsibilities in the name of your children, your husband, your wife. We do our responsibilities, but we know that we can't control all of them completely. We can control something, about 50%, 20%, 30%. We can control, but we can never control 100%.
When you have anger in a situation because you have attachment towards your children, you can convert that anger towards something positive because that is your child. So it's you are the person who has to do it because you have the ownership. So I guess the anger and everything, you channel that energy into positive things and constructive things, right?
Yeah, actually anger, we can use anger in the positive way. Yeah. For example, stress also can be used in the positive way. When we have stress, especially in the examination period, it is a good beneficial for us.
It gives energy, the adrenaline gives energy.
Yeah. But however, we should be honest. What kind of lust that we have? We should be intelligent always. We should have an ability to read our mind. Yes. What condition that mind has. Then we have no bias. Anger is not bad, but going to worst as a bias, that is the wrong.
It is uncontrolled anger, it's bad, but it's controlled into
sometimes,
positive
some way, or when you blame your children, somebody says that you are angry. You seem angry, but you are not really angry. Your mind is with kindness. That is why you blame your son or daughter. You have some sort of attention to correct them, and that is your responsibility. That is your duty. It should be happen. You should do it. But however, we should be intelligent and we should have an ability to not to go far in the anger. Then we should know the limit. Then that is, as the intelligent persons who listening to this message, we can understand what is the limitations.
I've come across people like people who are close to you. If something bad happens and you don't show anger, they say, "Don't you care that this is going bad?" You know, they say that. Why are you not caring about it? You know, so sometimes the other person understands, especially when your children grow older, they ask, you know, why are you not worried? Why are you not angry? This happened.
Yeah, sometimes when a person dies, then if you don't cry, some people ask you, why don't you cry?
Right. To get it out of you.
Yeah, actually there are some people who don't worry, who don't cry because of another way. But somebody
They don't care.
they don't care.
Yeah.
Because of they don't have no kindness or some attachment, some relationship. They don't cry or they don't care even. But there are some people who has attachment, who has done their duties or responsibilities in the name of that person. Even though that person has done a lot of responsibilities in the name of that person has controlled his mind. Even though that person is the owner of the dead person. That is the special thing. Even though a person doesn't cry, we can say that that person has a good personality. We can say it. Yes.
When somebody dies, that whole identity that person is there, right? The body dies and the root and the nama, the name that we have given that person, everything goes away. So, but when we go to give dana, all that, and try to give that good meritorious deeds to encourage upon the person who is dead. So, as Buddhism is saying, there is no identity of person that goes from here to there. So, when we give all these cards, we give a lot of stuff, like for my mother, but we're giving a lot of benefits to that person who's gone away, but there's no such person that way. You say there's no identity, right? That person takes it. Who is that person now? They're doing all these meritorious deeds that, like killing who?
Yeah, actually the situation is like here. We are going here and there. We are going from birth to birth according to conventional truth. That is why we suffer. That is why we are happy. According to conventional truth, a same person goes here and there. It is true. We transfer the merits for our departed relatives with the conventional truth. It is true. According to conventional truth, if we transfer merits to them, they can receive. If they hope to get the merits, they can receive the merits. It is true. That person can get the results. When we fulfill some meritorious deeds such as alms giving, when we transfer merits, they can get the merits if they are ready to get the merits. It is true according to conventional truth. But when we go to ultimate truth, for example, when a person attain enlightenment in this life itself, whether that person has a lot of facilities, he doesn't care it, because his fully attention about his mind, about his understanding, whether environment is good or bad, it is not a big thing, it is not a big attachment to him. He gets the result. He eats something, he can get some facilities because of his previous activities. But the difference is that that person has no confidence, no idea about those facilities. When a person enlightened, according to ultimate truth, but until we are going to ultimate truth, we should have these facilities, we should have merits, not only doing meritorious deeds by ourselves, but we have to transfer the merits to our beloved relatives too.
By doing so much karma, maybe asking for another birth,
because Buddhism we are thinking of enlightenment and not being born again.
Mm-hmm.
So by explaining like doing more karma, this kind of derail, they go to another track way. Okay, we'll do a lot of karma and then all these together, so we'll be born again. But
karmic, we should have good karmic laws because we should have done, we should do good deeds. For example, we give up all sins in the highest level. For example, when you are climbing to a tree, you should have a ladder. Until you finish your journey, you should have the ladder. You know ladder?
Yes.
But if you think under the tree, if you think this ladder is not useful, if you give up that ladder, you can't climb the tree. First of all, you should have the ladder. After you finish your journey to the, after you climb to the tree, you give up the ladder. But until you finish your journey, you should have ladder.
That's the body.
Not only body, but also karmic law. I mean that you should do good karmic energy. You should develop good karmic energy until you become highest level.
So
Because all over the world depend on conventional truth. For example, there are some differences in the nationalities and castes and their countries. There are some differences. According to Buddhism, if you have done a lot of meritorious deeds, you will be reborn in the highest caste. But Buddhism doesn't appreciate the differences of the caste. But according to conventional truth, if you do more merits, you will be reborn in the highest caste or classes. But Buddhism doesn't believe that situation. But according to karmic law, we will be reborn a better life, which is appreciated in the same time. All of them are depend on conventional truth, but conventional truth is not the correct truth.
You can also look at it this way, like you give the dana as an appreciation of your parents and to keep them in your memory, and it's really you do it for yourself too. So when they're not there, not to forget about them, just do it so you kind of appreciate it, I mean, we don't know whether they are going to get the merits you transfer to them.
Actually, doing meritorious deeds,
do it for yourself.
Yeah, there are a lot of benefits that when you do meritorious deeds in the name of your departed relatives, first thing is you gain the merits yourself.
Yeah,
you accumulate merits by yourself first, and also then you transfer the merits to your beloved relatives.
So that attachment you're keeping it like
Not a big attachment, that is your responsibility. And also another thing that they should be ready to receive it. They are not keep their eye on you. They don't receive this medicine.
What do you mean by eye on
For example, the TV or radio which is in your house. If you don't put on the switch, you can't watch it. You can't listen in it. Whether the waves come. Even though waves come, you can't see or watch if you don't put on the switch. Same thing, that when you transfer medicine, if your relatives, departed relatives are not ready to receive it, they can receive it. But the first benefit that when you do medicine, you accumulate the result. That is first thing. On the other hand, you fulfill your responsibilities if you don't do it. Especially you may have some guilty consciousness. At sometimes. And sometimes some people blame you too, according to in our country.
And also
If,
it's a good example for the children, right? To see
yeah,
that
actually, according to, you are supposed to do that duty. That is our some sort of duty. We should do it. But the thing is, when we transfer the merits to a person, we transfer not only particular person, one person. There are billions of persons. There are billions of persons who are our close relatives in our previous life, who are hoping the merits that when you transfer merits. For example, when you know the first offering of the temple to the Buddha, King Bimbisara. King Bimbisara offered the first temple to the Buddha. In this sasana, the first time a king offered the temple to the Buddha, Velvanarama. After he offered that Velvanarama, at the same night, he saw a very dangerous dream. What is that? He saw a lot of people in the dream who were sad. Next day he went to Buddha and asked, Reverend Sir, what is the reason this bad dream that I saw? Then Buddha said very clearly, King, a lot of relatives who are your previous life relatives were waiting until you offer this temple, and they believed that you offered merit to them. You transferred merit to them. They believe that you have to receive it, but you didn't do it. That is why you saw them in the dream. Then again that king offered another almsgiving and offered some kind of things to the Mahasangha and Buddha, and after the merit, he transferred merit to his beloved relatives. Not only this life relatives, but there were number of previous life relatives he saw in the dream. That is
somebody bad, even if somebody they rely on other person's good merit, so they get good results.
Yeah, actually, this is a very important thing. Everybody, only one place that person can receive this merit. Not all beings. There is a very specific realm in the world who can receive these merits when we transfer merits to them. Not all people. Not human beings. As humans, if we were Buddhist in the previous life, still our relatives are transferring merits in the name of ours. But we are no attention. We don't hope it. We don't receive it.
Human beings, if you are born, you can receive.
We can receive it.
God.
Only there are very special preta realm. Yeah.
So all the people who the Buddhists were meritorious dana and everything, they are not expressed.
Not always, but there are number of our previous relatives. Not only one person or two person in this life. And also there are some gods too, some deities too. They can receive some medicine. There are some deities who are our previous relatives. They were born as gods or deities. They also can receive some medicine when we transfer medicine. It is another thing, we will discuss it later.
That's a
It's
whole
big topic.
different thing.
It is a big topic. Actually, you should do it. That is your responsibility. When you do it, your mind is very pure and calm. You do a lot of medicine. The first result is for you. Whether they receive or not, don't think that it is waste. It is a good chance for you. You develop your energy. You develop your karmic law. Then the main results are for you. That is why Buddhism encourages. Again and again you have to develop your merit. And not only doing merit, but we have to transfer those all merits in the name of our beloved relatives too.
So according to the conventional philosophy, that anyway, when somebody dies, he's gone into an ethereal body. That means no form, it's the energy body. That is, they are existing to receive karmic, receive all the merits. So according to the conventional truth, there is, that we'll say, karma and the Jata goes together. And they are born in different realms according to their merits and demerits. So when we are going on and on, born and again, dying and all that, and when we come to the place where we are human beings, we have to develop the intelligence or the wisdom to think that actually, although these are going on and on, there are no body as such that takes one by one. It's according to the conditions they are born. And then realizing that truth, there's no form that carries like a leech. And then when you realize that without conditions, nothing happens. You know? So then only you get your realization, ultimate realization, right?
Yeah. When you are going to transfer the merits for your departed relatives,
so
it doesn't want to understand ultimate truth.
No, they are
whether you understand ultimate truth or not, it doesn't matter. They can receive the medicine.
Yeah,
we should understand. Yeah, we should. If you wish to go here and there, receiving good life, like heaven, Brahmas, you can receive a lot of good life in the future, whether you know or not about ultimate truth.
But that's not the goal, right?
Yeah, it is not. It is not. It is all of them are impermanent.
Yeah.
That is the thing. And when you are going to get a new life, understanding of ultimate truth, whether you know or not ultimate truth, it doesn't matter. But we should understand this ultimate truth for getting rid of suffering. Until you understand the ultimate truth, you can get the new life. You can get new better life. But you can overcome the suffering. If a person would like to overcome the suffering, that person should try to understand ultimate truth. Okay, thank you for your coming. Have a nice day.
No, but when you do karma, do you expect a result, or do you don't want another birth and you don't want to have another result of that karma? That's what I'm saying. Like when we do a lot of merits at the temple, they say, okay, you'll be born in heaven, you'll be getting they're giving these higher and to the people like, okay, you'll be born like this, and you're going to give all these good results. But this like kind of motivating them. But that's not the correct Buddhism. Buddhism means you want to stop this birth, don't have any more karma, good or bad, coming to the next birth.
No, Buddhism doesn't say that you don't do the good karma. Buddhism never says that you don't do good merits. Buddhism doesn't say. Yeah, finally, as I mentioned, after we finish our journey, we give up all wholesome and unwholesome. End of our journey. But until we reach our final goal, we should develop the good energy. We are not sure that we can achieve the final goal in this life.
Yeah, because in Buddhism, as Buddha said that one lady had a graveyard and she saw that and she reflected on it and then she attained enlightenment. I was reading in a book that one lady
he has fulfilled all the things to be attain nirvana at that birth, right? That's what it is.
The handkerchief that he gave him a handkerchief or something like that he looked at it and he achieved it in one day. So, is it true?
Yeah, actually, after some person enlightened, Buddha has said it. But it is a very special thing. We can generalize it. We can generalize it. There is a very special situations. Buddha has, in the special situations, Buddha has explained, you have to overcome all good and bad. Buddha has explained. But it is not an advice for all people. Actually, he finished all his karma. He finished his all karma. But other persons, like we, like most of people in this world, they have to generate the good energy, good karma. Buddha always encouraged to develop the good energy, good karma. For example, he says very clearly, Ma punya sabhai. Don't afraid of doing merits. Ma punya sabhai. Don't worry about doing merits. You are afraid of doing evil. You should not be afraid of doing merits. It is a good beneficial for our life. Because of your merits, you are here. You have this chance to listen in this message. If you had not this merit, you have not this chance. That is why every moment when we do merits, whether we will have next birth or not, daily when we collect some meritorious deeds, it means our energy, our health, our facilities, all things are growing up. In this life itself, not only hereafter. Your age, all things are growing up as the result of doing good deeds.
This life.
This life. That is why you have to fulfill all merits when we do good deeds. For example, if you don't practice generosity, in this life, you don't have this chance to listen in this message. Can you understand what I say? If you didn't practice generosity in this life, even this life, you don't have this chance that listening this message. Because of your practicing of generosity, you are here, you are listening this message. Those are the beneficiaries that when we do merit, we can reach the Dhamma, we can reach this message, and also we can get the result because of our merits. When we practice meditation, we should have good health. When we practice meditation, we should have our old age too. We should have good age, longevity. We should have longevity. If we don't have longevity, if we don't have good appearance or health, how we develop this message? That is why every day we should develop merit for our life and for our children's life, for our departed relatives' life too. That is a very, very useful. We should do every moment try to do something as merit. That is very important. Then when we do these activities as generosity, morality or meditation, it means you develop your spirituality and your energy. That energy causes you to develop your meditation and understanding of ultimate truth too. Then here we were discussing about the Jata Sutta. Jata Sutta means a deity came to visit Buddha and he asked Buddha, the many people who are in the world, they suffer, they have problems, they are dealing with problems. What is your message that getting rid of suffering? What is your message? What is your advice to people that you give for getting rid of suffering? Overcome suffering. Buddha says very clearly, first of all, you should be wise, you should be intelligent. Intelligence is the primary quality that we should develop from beginning to end. As a wise person, as an intelligent person, that person has practiced 3 levels. What are the 3 levels? First level is the discipline, virtue or morality. With good behavior, good discipline in your speech and behavior. And when you practice morality or virtue, then you are reaching to meditation. Little by little, you develop your mind, you cultivate your mind, and you focus your mind particular object as merit, such as breathing meditation, loving kind meditation. You practice meditation as tranquility or concentration meditation, then you develop your ability to keep your mind for a long time same object. Then it means you are so happy because of your tranquility or concentration. Even though the society, the environment is very complicated, if you can focus your mind, then you don't suffer. You don't worry about the environment. You can live without suffering, whether you are living in the complicated environment. That is the good benefit for you cultivating tranquility meditation or concentration meditation. This is the second step. With the concentrated mind, again and again focus your mind about impermanence, arising and ceasing. This is the nature of the world. If you like to overcome suffering, if you like to become the real happiness, real peace of your mind, if you like to face the big challenges in your life, that old age, sickness, death and separation, in front of these challenges in your life, if you like to face these problems without suffering, without fear, without hatred, without desire, you have to develop insight meditation, practicing impermanence, understanding of dependent origination. That is the thing. How much in a day, how much you can focus your mind according to mindfulness and wisdom, that is the success of your life. That is the thing that you develop your IQ or GPA. It causes you to get rid of suffering and live without fear, suffering and anger. Yeah, we can say. First thing is the concentration or focus our mind as tranquility. Then again and again practicing insight meditation, practicing vipassana meditation, we focus on our mind as impermanence. Yeah, gradually the delusion disappears. Yeah, whether, yeah.
That's illusion. So
Yeah. Actually, these facilities that we have already gained, this is not the real thing. According to our karmic law, according to our karmic energy, through our eye, we can see this very important, very beautiful situation. If our mental conditions changes, then these same all things are different. You know? Yeah. According to scientists, this is same for all people. But according to Buddhism, this is not same for all people. When your karmic law is changes, these are maybe the enemies or some devils, something are different. That is the nature of the world. When you develop your mind, you may go through these walls too. This is not a barrier for you. These things depend on our mind situation, mental situation that we accumulated in our previous life. And when we develop our mind gradually, even though the environment is very complicated, the suffering doesn't come to us because we have overcome this conventional truth. We are in the ultimate truth. When we are in the ultimate truth, the environment can disturb us. The environment can give the suffering to us. We are enriched in right understanding. For that, again and again, we have to develop our virtue, we have to develop our concentration or tranquility. We have to reflect on this impermanence every day, little by little. We should cultivate the duration in a day that we reflect on this impermanence. Okay, thank you so much. We discussed a lot, and today we discussed about Jata Sutta in Samyutta Nikaya. This is one of the discourses which is said for a god or deity, and here we can understand the real path for the purification, for the getting rid of suffering, and again try to develop your morality and your concentration, your wisdom, and especially your success depends on how much you have developed mindfulness and wisdom or intelligence. And finally, you can see the mirror or reflection how much you have practiced this message. There are three things that you have to write in your mirror. First one is loving kindness. Second one is honesty. Third one is wisdom. And on the other hand, you should have your best friend, who is mindfulness. Always try to live with mindfulness. If you lost your mindfulness, it means you lost your best friend. It means you are suffering. If you don't like suffering, you have to develop mindfulness. Mindfulness about your physical body, mindfulness about your mind, mindfulness about your feeling, mindfulness about your mental formations. In the great discourse of Satipatthana, it is said that you have to cultivate mindfulness in 4 ways. Mindfulness, a contemplation of body, contemplation of feeling, contemplation of mental formations, contemplation of mind or consciousness. These are the ways that you have to practice, cultivate mindfulness again and again. Then finally, the final results that you have developed your mindfulness and wisdom. As soon as you hear something, as soon as you look at something, as soon as you taste something, you know this experience arises at the moment as the result of conditions. At the moment it ceases. Then you have no big attachment, but you never forget your responsibilities. You do your responsibilities more than you did before. After you have this experience, after you have this understanding, You never forget your responsibilities and duties. You do all of them very well, more than that you did before. Yes?
Can you repeat the 14th? Concentration of body, feelings?
Mental formations and mind or consciousness. Buddha says, I have written it in this paper, you can see it. Mindfulness is the field. It is the dowry that our Father gave us. Buddha says very clearly, you should try to live in the Father's field. Father's field is the mindfulness. If you go away from your Father's field, you may face some problems. If you like to overcome the suffering or problems, try to live in the field of your Father. Who is your Father? Buddha says very clearly, this is the Father's field. If you forget this field, you may face some problems. Until you are living in this field, you have no problems, you have no suffering, you have no troubles.
The body and the feelings are desires that arises from seeing and hearing the five senses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all things are related to this one.
To guard them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Last time you gave an example about feeling, seeing, hearing, how to analyze it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we are with the mindfulness, we do all things from waking up to going to bed. We do all things with mindfulness. We can do all things with mindfulness if you have real knowledge. In the great discourse of Satra Satipatthana or Mahasatipatthana, it is said very clearly, you can manage your all activities according to mindfulness. Then you can do all things more successfully.
I'm going to give us a lesson on that, Satra Satipatthana.
Yeah, Satra Satipatthana means that when you think your body, you can think about the nature of the body, and you can reflect on your breathing, and when some feelings come to your body, and if it is a negative feeling, you know this is negative feeling. If you have good feeling, you know this is good feeling. Then some thoughts come to your mind, you know, now I have some sort of this thought. You have attention. And also, when your mind is very calm, you know your mind is calm. When your mind is upset, you know now my mind is very upset. About all things, we have attention, we have awareness. Then we know arising and ceasing. Nothing is certain. Everything is impermanent. Then gradually our desire, our attachment, our greed decreases. It means we have no fear or worry or suffering. Then little by little try to develop. This is a very good chance for you. Daily we are reaching to these challenges in our life. Those 4 challenges are like very poisoned snakes. Buddha says very clearly, old age, sickness, death and separation are the same very poisoned snakes. Even though you are in the safety place, those snakes are running towards you. Don't forget it. Try to overcome not only the physical old age or sickness. We have to try to get rid of suffering of illness, suffering of death, suffering of separation.
It's a state of mind.
Yeah. We should be strong in our mind. When we practice it, we can do it. Because we were born here with a good energy. We can do it. Okay, thank you so much for your coming. And again, we discussed the Buddha's message, how we get rid of suffering. And listening this message, you accumulated a lot of meritorious deeds, and you purified your mind listening this message. And now the time that we are going to transfer our merits to our beloved relatives, beloved departed relatives. May they receive these merits and may they attain a good life, and finally may they attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's we transfer these all merits to our beloved departed relatives. Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Let's we transfer these all merits to guardian deities, angels too. May they receive these merits and may they keep their eye on you too. May they protect you for a long time, giving happiness and peace in your life. With that intention, let's we transfer these merits to guardian deities too. Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata ca amhehi sambhadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodanto sabba sampatti siddhya. Okay, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May the Triple Gem bless you. Thank you for your coming. Okay, thank you.